Super Bowl contenders?
No, I don't think so this year.
What the fuck did you just say?
Right here from Backside Athletics, we got our Week 9 fantasy football predictions. Our start-em, sit-em, sleeper. First at quarterback, we have start-em Russell Wilson. He's coming off a 400-yard, 4-touchdown game against the Texans, and we think he'll continue this success because he's had a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, he's been doing really good this season. 4 out of his last 5 games, he scored over 26 fantasy points in standard leagues. The one game he didn't was against the Rams, so that's understandable. And I expect him to continue the streak against the Redskins this week because they're ass.
How many points do you have against the Rams? Do you know?
Less than 26. I forgot. I think it was like 12 or something.
Wow. Rams must be pretty good, huh?
I would agree.
Wow. All right. Next stardom we have is Adrian Peterson, running back for the Cardinals. David Johnson is hurt, and Andre Ellington this week is limited with a quad injury. What do you think about Adrian Peterson?
Well, with Andre Ellington out, David Johnson out, he's going to get a lot of carries, which would definitely help him get a lot of points, especially against a 49ers team that has allowed a lot of fantasy points to running backs.
Yeah, do you think he'll get over 100 yards, maybe a touchdown?
Yeah, probably. He'll probably get those things. And 49ers is the worst team in the league for rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and opposing running back fantasy points at home. And they're at home this week, so
look out
they'll
for a
probably
big
continue
week.
that. Yeah.
Look out for a big week with Adrian Peterson. All right, next stardom is Tyreek Hill. What do you got about him?
Tyreek Hill, he didn't do that much against the Broncos last week, but I think he's going to make a comeback because the Cowboys aren't that good in the secondary.
And I noticed a trend over his first 6 fantasy games. There was 1 week where he was under 5 points, and then the next week he was double digit. And this happened under 5, double digit, under 5, double digit, under 5, double digit, consecutively for 6 weeks. So if he's coming off a bad week, I think we can predict him have a pretty good week against the Cowboys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll be good.
All right. Next position, tight end. We got Jimmy Graham. With Russell Wilson coming off a 4-touchdown week and one of them to Jimmy Graham, I think he'll be able to have a pretty good week. What do you think?
Yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 of his games, and could have been more, but he dropped a pair of passes last week over the Giants. Wait, were they in a bye last week? Probably. It was week 7 against the Giants, and that's where he dropped the passes. Regardless, he's a good fantasy dude. You should put him in.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham, tight end, week 9. All right, next we got the defenses. What do you got for stardom?
Los Angeles Rams. I think they've never failed me before, and
Ever.
No,
not just this year, ever. It's a
Okay,
pretty bold statement.
Let's not talk about other years. Let's talk about this year.
Okay.
I like to live in the now. And Eli Manning almost always throws a garbage pick at the end of the game, so that will be good for a few fantasy points, especially if they return it for a pick 6.
All right. Kicker, who you got?
I haven't got to this yet. Rams. Greg the Leg, Legatron. Yeah. He was on Dude Perfect once, so that's enough for a starting kicker in my book.
Okay, yeah. If a kicker's ever been on Dude Perfect, I'd suggest you start them because of just accuracy and a little bit of finesse. All right. Next we have our sleepers for week 9.
Speaking of sleepers, I don't do much of sleeping because I have insomnia.
For quarterback, we have Matthew Stafford. What do you got about him?
Well, Matthew Stafford has historically done pretty good against the Packers. He's had 16 touchdowns for the last 6 games that he's been at Packer Field. Lambeau Field.
Packer Field, Lambeau.
It is the field that they play in, so I could call it Packer Field. Thank you.
Thank you. What are you thanking me for?
Fuck you.
All right,
I'm not thanking you.
Anyways, what about that insomnia thing? Where did that come from?
I don't do much of sleeping, so I don't think either.
Should you get that checked out?
Backside Athletics.
All right, we're just not going to talk about that. That'll be the dark side of his life. But that 6 games, 16 touchdowns is pretty impressive. Start Matthew Stafford. Or actually sleeper if you have Russell Wilson because he's the starter. Yeah. Next, we have sleeper Aaron Jones. Same game, but recently Aaron Jones has put up a lot of solid stats. He's had 20 touches even when splitting time with Ty Montgomery, because the Ty Montgomery injury is what kind of surfaced him to be a reliable fantasy option. So if you have Aaron Jones, we'd suggest he'd have a good week. He's going to be a good sleeper. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that he'd be a good sleeper this week. The Lions don't have a great run defense, and he's going to get a good amount of carries, so I'd put him in.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I expect this Lions offense to do okay, but their defensive game is just not enough to stop the Packers. I think Aaron Jones is going to do some stuff.
All right, next we got wide receiver sleeper, Devin Funchess. There's been a lot of news about the Kelvin Benjamin trade before the trade deadline. How do you think that'll impact his fantasy performances?
I think he's going to get a lot more targets this week, and Falcons' defense is pretty weak, so he'll put some stuff in there.
All right, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely think that he has a potential for a touchdown or more. Falcons' defense hasn't been great against the pass, and with Kelvin Benjamin leaving, he'll definitely get some more targets.
All right, next we have sleeper for tight end, Vernon Davis. With Jordan Reed out this week, we can see a lot more production from Vernon Davis, maybe more targets, more catches. You guys see that as a reliable tight end?
Yeah, and you might be kind of worried about them playing the Cardinals, but last time they played them, they were actually really close, even though 49ers haven't won a game yet, but they might.
Vernon Davis is on the Redskins now, bud.
Fuck you. Did I write the wrong thing? I wrote this on the fucking thing. God fucking damn it! We're keeping that? Eat my ass. We'll cut it there.
No, we're going to keep it rolling.
God fucking damn it.
But anyways, Jordan Reed's out, and Vernon Davis will get more time. Next, the defensive sleeper. What do you got?
That's the next game. I read the wrong one.
That's okay. We're prepared here at Backstreet Athletics.
We're never prepared, ever.
Hit it. Defensive sleeper.
For a defensive sleeper, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going up against the Broncos offense that has been bad all year. Brock Osweiler is playing his first week. I wouldn't expect a big week from him, and the Eagles' defense has been pretty underrated over the season. Defensive sleeper, Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice. Wow, bold. They're the number one team in the league. That's a bold statement.
There's certainly sleepers.
Yes, they are. What about a kicker? You got Elliott, too, their kicker?
Yes.
Well, is there really a sleeper for kickers? A guy I like is Will Lutz for the Saints because the Saints are going to put up points. I wouldn't really call him a sleeper, though, because how do you have an underrated kicker?
The kicker for the Giants is jacked, just so you know.
Like how jacked? Like
pretty jacked.
Yeah, he is.
Like a woman jacked pretty?
No, like he looks like a linebacker, but he kicks.
It's pretty cool.
Nice.
You know what? Screw the Saints. Start the Giants kicker. Any league you have, Giants kicker all the way.
He won't put up points, but he's jacked.
You'll have intimidation factor on your fantasy team.
Now we have the sit-ems of the week. In other words, players you could put down the drain. Quarterback, Eli Manning. Running back, Joe Mixon. Wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton. Tight end, Martellus Bennett. Defense, New York Giants. And kicker, Brandon McManus.
If you like that video, make sure to check out our website. The link will be in the description. We got a lot of great content on there. NBA, NFL, fantasy football, fantasy basketball advice. So go ahead and check that out.
Also, if you like this video, like and subscribe.